What's going on, everybody? I'm Tom.
I'm Pat.
And I'm Zach.
We're best friends, and you're listening to the Reminiscent Podcast. They say you can't choose your family. Well, you also can't choose which era of music you grew up in. This is a weekly show where we discuss our favorite bands from adolescence and how they continue to shape our lives today. Each week, we'll head back to the early 2000s and take a closer look at the cards we were dealt. Hey, Pat.
Hey, Tom, could you give me a minute? I got to run to the bathroom real quick.
Sure. Okay, now that he's gone and it's just us, I want to tell you guys, the vlog is going super well. I just put out the second episode, kind of. Still a test. It's about Ron Carnage. We submitted it to a local bookshop. Don't tell Pat. Okay, bye.
Wow, just got back. From going to the bathroom, that is. Did I miss anything?
Nope, nothing. Just sat here in silence.
Awesome. I hope you were pondering the life and times of Julian Casablancas while I was gone, because boy, do we have a surprise for you today.
Boy, do we.
Just kidding.
So we're not doing the Strokes.
Yeah, right. No, what are we doing today, Tom? Enlighten me. What in the world of Julian Casablancas could we be doing that is not the Strokes on this fine day?
Well, we're not doing what we promised on Twitter, which was finally the Baja Men episode.
But is that coming soon?
That is coming. Yes, we had to hold it off a week because once we started digging into the song Who Let the Dogs Out, there's probably an entire podcast in and of itself that could be devoted to this topic. So
like
we're holding
10 episodes.
Off. Right. So we're holding off a week to come prepared with our formal dissertation.
Documentary that aired at South by Southwest this year about it. So we need some time to answer the ultimate existential question: who did leave those dogs out? But we'll get more on that next week. And what are we doing this week, Tom?
We are talking about Head Automatica, a band you might somewhere in the back of your mind faintly remember the name of. We are specifically talking about their song Graduation Day, a song which neither of us participated in the listening of on any of our actual graduation days. Can we start there?
Big swing and a miss on my part. Yeah, I remember lying on my bedroom floor after college graduation and just like very, lost feeling, right? And it didn't even come to me. I was so out of it. It was such a fun 4 years in Athens, Ohio that I didn't even think to do it. The next day I thought of it. I was like, damn it, today's not graduation day. Yesterday was graduation day. And you wanted it to be our high school graduation song, but I don't think we did graduation songs at the ceremony. We did make a senior video, though. It definitely should have and could have been in that.
Yeah, I mean...
It got edged out by Fantasy by Mariah Carey and Going Away to College and Slow Dance on the Inside.
Yes, by
absolutely. Taking Back Sunday.
Not bad choices.
Well, Fantasy was a little out there. It had no, it didn't come out that year or anything. It was just a fucking bop, so...
Well, two things real quick. My college graduation, I just celebrated the 6-year anniversary of it last week.
Hey, I think you should club horn it real quick.
Okay. And I had a dream last night that we were at our high school reunion. So this
which is coming up.
Such a fitting song.
Walk me through the dream. I'll tease this real quick. We're only doing this episode because there's no other place in life to do my impression of this lead singer in this song, specifically the first verse. And that's the only reason we're doing this episode. So buckle up. We're going to put that off for as long as we can. That's the only hook we have to this week's episode. So just full disclosure. So I'm going to needle Tom and mine his thoughts for content before we get into the music and lyrics and music video, which is pretty standard music video. Anyway, you have that to look forward to anyway. But Tom, what is this dream, and how do you picture our high school reunion going now that we have passed our graduation day?
Sure, right. God, it's gonna be 10-year reunion this year. Zach just got his tickets, even though he didn't graduate with us. He is an honorary member of our lives.
Different school, yeah, right. Entirely different school. But he's coming.
I still need to get my tickets, but in my dream, I was conflicted about how much do I shoot for the vlog, which of course I don't have one in real life. I don't know why I would in this dream.
Yeah, that's interesting that you say that, Tom. You know how I feel about YouTubers.
Don't even get you started.
Don't even get me started.
So I was like trying to film something with Cameron, and everyone was like, "Get that fucking thing out of my face!" And I was like, "Whoa, I thought this would be fun."
Yeah, it probably would not be fun. I don't know. That'd be a tough one. It's awkward enough as is, and then coming in hot with the red light on the camera. I think people would be not at ease in that scenario.
I don't think I'd do that. I think I'd get some silent B-roll, perhaps, if I.
It's one thing to
have
walk
a
up to
vlog.
somebody and be like, "Hey, what have you been up to?" And then walk up to somebody and ask them that, and they'd be like, you're looking at it. I'm rolling. We're hot, baby. We're rolling now. This is exactly what I've been up to.
So that's pretty much the dream.
Yes. Okay. So things go poorly in this.
But I do actually have some fun facts here about Head Automatica.
Ooh, I'd love to hear 'em. The longer and longer we can put off having to actually do the impression, the better, I think, as we go through this. I hope you're all having a lovely Friday, by the way, everybody.
So, number one, have you ever heard of the band Glassjaw?
No.
Okay. So, the singer Daryl Palumbo of Head Automatica.
Which is a great name.
Yes, absolutely.
Great name.
He was also the vocalist of a band called Glassjaw. They are like, I don't know if they're post-hardcore. It's pretty heavy, and it's mostly screaming vocals. His kind of singing vocals are less weird than they are in Head Automatica. We'll also get into that.
How's he handle the heavier screamo stuff?
He's great, man. He's just a great vocalist.
Good performer. That's one thing I noticed from the music video. He's got a stage presence to him. Not to mention the very unique singing style, at least for the Head Automatica work.
He's a GD pro.
Did he let it rip for Glassjaw? Like full?
Oh, dude, Glassjaw. So I had a friend named Portia who was always trying to get me to listen to Glassjaw, and I was really into Pretty Lights at the time.
I wonder how many people can say that they had a friend that was really trying to get them into Glassjaw, let alone how many people can say they had a friend with such a cool name. Like that's a nice anecdote. I'm glad you're a co-host of this show because that is like, it's nice.
No, she had all the cool music. She was like 4 years older than me, so she was just in a different generation of pop punk and some of the heavier stuff. So she tried to introduce me to a lot of stuff that I wasn't listening to at the time, and really, really appreciated her for that.
I have a question for you about this. You've ran in the musical scene for most of your life.
Sure.
Do you ever not have enough time for all the music recommendations? Because you have been surrounding yourself with dozens of these people throughout your life that have. And if you have an anecdote about somebody recommending freaking Glassjaw, how did you get time to even sleep, my boy?
Well, old boy. I was never good at listening to a lot of different artists. I would find one that I like the Wonder Years, and listen to them pretty much exclusively for about 5 years. So,
Yep.
I'm in this
let me try to name them.
Yep.
Angels and Airwaves, or Blink first.
Sure.
And then Angels and Airwaves, just because it was a continuation.
Sure.
That might have been derailed by the fact that Hannah wanted you to listen to Death Cab for Cutie. And then you went to college and started listening to the Wonder Years. And that brings us up to date.
There was some old school hip hop in the mix, but pretty much. So I'd say that I listen to a lot of different music, but with those different genres, it's a very small number of bands. We'll say that. Because I don't know. I mean, I find what I like and I stick with it. If I go to a restaurant and I like something, I never order anything different because I know I'm going to love it every time.
Yeah, that's always a tough dance. You find something that really hits the spot, and then you don't want to be like, what, go. But you've really gone to the restaurant to get the meal. So why would you? I always end up ordering something different and being like, damn it.
Megan tortures herself with that too. She'll go, so first of all, we'll go to a place that specializes in burgers, and then she'll order the salad and be like, oh, the salad's not that good. It's like, well, we're at a burger place.
Yeah,
so,
this is a bar. This is a dive bar.
Or she'll find something that she really wants, and she'll be like, oh my God, I need this. But then she'll allow herself to try to get the thing that's a little more healthy, and then end up wishing she got the thing she originally wanted. So when I look at a menu, I typically don't get overwhelmed by choices, because the first thing I see that intrigues me, I get it and I stop looking.
I like that's there's got to be an interesting life strategy in there somewhere. I like that.
Yeah, I mean,
I will say if I see fish tacos I will usually order them.
Okay.
And that is, I'm big enough to admit that it's only because of that movie, I Love You, Man. I hadn't really heard about fish tacos before watching that movie. And, anyway, it's led to some pretty decent meals. And it's light,
Sure.
Nothing too heavy. But yeah, sometimes it's obvious, right? You go to a place that specializes in burgers and you're going to get your burger fix. But yeah, sometimes at that new place or a place that anyway, Head Automatica, the voice of the guy is, I wonder what he would have eaten the day of graduation.
We've got a lot more fun facts here.
That's right, Glassjaw.
So he was the singer of Glassjaw, a very good band. The beginnings of the band Head Automatica stemmed from their singer Daryl Palumbo's interest in hip-hop.
Which is a great name.
Right, yeah. Yeah, great name. His interest in hip-hop and Brit-hop genres. He really liked power pop and obviously just didn't vibe with Glassjaw. So he kind of started a side project, which is Head Automatica. So that leads me to the question, is Head Automatica power pop? And if so, are they a monster of power pop, as were the Click 5?
Well, I'd like everybody to go back and listen to our Click 5 episode before continuing to listen to this fine episode we've got going. We are just minutes away from the Head Automatica lead singer impression as we delve into the lyrics, but we're not quite there yet, of course. Keeping you on the edge of your seats. I would say they're in the realm of this show. Yeah, they're one of the monsters of early 2000s power pop. Sure.
Okay. Awesome.
Well, no, they're not monsters. I mean, the thing about the Click 5 episode is that song was so huge, right? I mean,
yeah.
As huge as it could have been in the small slice of pie that the music industry was at the time.
Absolutely.
I think Head Automatica, we caught them, and we'll talk about this show later in the show, or this concert. We caught them with Taking Back Sunday, Angels and Airwaves, and was it the Subway?
Subways.
Yeah, in Cleveland at an amphitheater in 2006, and they got kind of thrown onto that tour. I feel like I feel like they weren't ever monsters or that big. They had 3 songs that you probably knew, even if you were like, I don't know if they ever had an album. I don't know if they were monsters. I wouldn't say they were.
I think they had all the makings of it. So when their debut EP Decadence came out in August 2004, it charted on Billboard 200 and Top Heat Seekers charts. I mean, I think that is impressive. It had a lot to do with the singer already being in a very successful, post-hardcore band. But one of the founding members of Head Automatica, Dan Nakamura, he was famous for producing Gorillaz.
Yeah, the Wikipedia page definitely gives off the vibe that these are dudes that they didn't just come out of nowhere. They were all kind of music industry guys that, they put a project together that they believed in, and then there was a record, and then they toured, and it was not necessarily there wasn't that these dudes all came from a garage when they were 11 together coming up. It's just industry dudes that wanted to do this power pop project, and it worked pretty well, right?
Yeah, so their main dude, Dan, kind of dropped off. They only had a DJ turntablist for the first album, and then their second album came out, which is the one that we all kind of heard of. What's it called? Pop.
Well, Beating Heart's Baby was on Decadence, right?
I think so.
There's a girl in our grade that I was listening to Head Automatica one day on my whatever iPod generation that would have been, and she was like, "Oh yeah, they sing Beating Heart's Baby," and I was like, "Yeah." And I had no idea. I was totally caught off guard trying to impress her or whatever.
Would that have been Savannah?
No, I think it was Brittany. I went home. I ran home. I didn't. We were at school. That was 10 miles. But I definitely rushed away to go listen. But that is a crazy power pop song as well. Lying Through Your Teeth and Graduation Day were on the later record. But yeah, Beating Heart's Baby, I would have to assume would have been their first single after they put this little project together. The project being the band, that is.
Right. So they put out the second album, did well, but not as good. And then they toured on that for a while with some pretty prominent bands. And they spent about a year recording their third album, sent out all these tweets about we're mixing it. This is 2008, 2009. It's going to be great. And then went totally silent for 3 years. And then in 2012, we're it's going to be out soon. And it just never came out.
I'm interested to hear what those tracks are or were.
Yeah, so apparently they toured a few of the new songs, but they've never released anything. There were some issues with Daryl leaving their label early or something, so there were lawsuits over the rights of the song, and it just got messy. And, this was his side project, so I think he probably just, said screw it and kind of left it be. So the last note that I have here is his voice got way weirder from album 1 to album 2.
Interesting.
Yeah. In the first one, it's unique. It has character, but you can understand what he's saying.
Yes, you can definitely understand what he's saying, which is a major component to taking music in audibly through your ear holes. Yes. Yes. Well, you go from Beating Hearts Baby, Tell Me Is This Love For Real, pretty straightforward, to the impression that's coming very soon.
Any minute now.
Oh, any minute now. Any minute now. There's a countdown on the corner of the screen if we were to be doing this live, which we're not. Yeah, so I don't know. Was it a conscious decision, I wonder? We should get him on the show to talk about some other band, but also ask him about his vibes.
That would be fun. Yeah.
Here's a weird rumor that I saw that I couldn't confirm through my 4 Googles I did before the show. Very limited research. Everyone who listens to the show probably already takes it with a grain of salt because we only ever discuss the Wikipedia pages of these things we're looking up, which is kind of why we had to delay the Baha Men episode, because I was like, there's like a bit of things.
There's a ton.
Yeah, there's so much. It's exhausting. Anyway, Gerard Way, lead singer of My Chemical Romance, I saw somewhere listed as having a backup vocal credit for Graduation Day.
Oh.
I couldn't find it from a reliable source, but tweet at us if you know the real answer to that question, maybe, because that was would have been very intriguing. If they were in the industry, maybe they knew each other, coming up in this particular time, doing this particular genre type stuff.
Yeah, I could see how Glassjaw and My Chemical Romance would end up on a weird kind of mashed together tour package that didn't really seem to make too much sense. But
punk, they never did Punk Goes Power Pop, and that feels like a missed opportunity. They should go back and listen to our Punk Goes Pod episode, which is also an oldie but a goodie. And while we're talking about Gerard Way, you might as well go listen to our My Chemical Romance I'm Not Okay music video episode as well.
And don't forget to smash that like button and ring that bell.
Yeah, break your fucking phone.
Anyway, should we get into lyrics, video, what have you?
Damn, yeah, we should. We should just do it. The moment is now. Here we are. We are here. Smash that fucking button, bitch. Oh, God.
Oh, okay, not the Kanye West song.
Right, like, you got to look up the... Right. Are we doing lyrics or video first? Because the video is silly, not as silly as the Click 5 video where there's that stupid principal running around the school, like
where'd
checking everywhere.
Go?
Yeah, there's like dust falling from the roof, and he's like, I'll check the roof last. I'm taking to check everywhere else first. Oh, that one was silly. This one's not that silly, but it's definitely weird. Definitely weird at times. But I guess we could, I don't know. What do you want to do first?
Do you think the video has American Pie vibes?
I don't know if there's a graduation scene in American Pie.
I don't know if just like
a typical stage walking. I mean, there was plenty of teen movies from 95 to 05 that would have had similar type situations.
Like, I imagine this could have been the credit song of Acceptance, right? The South Harmon Institute of Technology.
Oh, interesting.
Like, it totally could have been in that movie.
When we do our first soundtrack battle, I might put Accepted. We watched that movie at my bachelor party, actually, because we are old and the first night knocked us out, so we just watched movies the second day. That movie did not age well, by the way.
Really?
It's a little problematic, and but the soundtrack is quite nice, I gotta say. It's got both Holiday by Weezer and Holiday by Green Day in the same soundtrack, which just spans several decades and mindsets all at once, which is kind of an interesting take on things. Anyway, maybe Lewis Black asks for it specifically. But what do you want to do, lyrics or video first?
Let's talk about the video.
Ooh, the impression gets pushed back deeper into the show. I like it.
We can do whatever you want.
It's going to be a jarbled mess whenever it comes, so might as well keep the people waiting.
Well, should we talk about the Taking Back Sunday concert first? Just push back.
I'd love to.
More?
What was your experience? Because we didn't even go together. We were just at the same show, and I just ran into you and Adam later, And I was like, did you see the guy who flung whitey tighties at Tom DeLonge? And you were like, it was me. I was like, I should have known somehow that it was you. Like, you, in theory, could have been arrested for assault, I guess, that day. But we were at an amphitheater in Cleveland. It was the Subways, then Head Automatica, then Angels and Airwaves, and then Taking Back Sunday was headlining. This was 06. It was the most 06 show possible, and it was a fucking good show.
So I remember getting a ride with Adam Stolarski and his mom. Adam was in our band, 400 Par. Who were you there with, and why didn't we go together?
I don't know why we wouldn't have discussed this, because I was there with my sister, who was going to Case Western at the time, I think, and the Vandevelds, and some kids from Girard that worked with my sister at Chuck E. Cheese, who were in a band called Don't Meth with Girard. And they were all planning to stay at a dorm at Case Western. I think my sister was taking a summer class or something. I don't know why she would have been an ear to give me the ride in the first place. Anyway, I was in way over my head. We were what? Not old.
15?
16. Yeah. So, with the driver's permit, with college people that were ready to throw down, as we'll learn in a few moments, I was in way over my head once we got back to the dorms. And it was like one of my first experiences with drinking. And I was like, oh, cool. What are we drinking? And they were just doing that thing where you pass around a cheap bottle of vodka and there's like soda somewhere in the room that you have to go find to chase with. I was like, oh, we're gulping. Oh, from the bottle. I love this. I love it when we do this. This is my favorite way to do it. And just mouthfuls of vodka at a time for like a young teen after sweating in the hot sun all day, screaming along to the most angsty music possible. But the youthful body, I remember bouncing back fine the next morning. I didn't feel very hungover at all. So I'm built like a rubber band back then. Could bounce back from anything. But that was definitely an odd experience, to be sure.
Yeah, because, I remember Adam and I were in the pit. You guys had like seats up somewhere. We came back to visit you real quick at one point.
To put it in perspective, I would not have been close enough to fling a pair of underwear at anyone other than the people just... It was weird because my sister's coworker friend, who I thought was cute, she was like a championship District 10 diver for McDowell or something. And it was one of those things where the push pit was kind of pushing us together, but I was like 4 years her junior. So it wasn't going to happen. But I was like, I don't know. Concert etiquette is very weird and strange, right? I mean, if you're not in the pit dancing, but you are involved with the pushing aspect of it all, you're just kind of leaning into people that are generally all around you the whole time. Right. Very, very odd. And do you sway? Do you do anything with your hands? It's all very strange.
Yeah, super weird. But I mean, you spend enough time in the pit, you get used to it, Pat.
Yeah, you got me there. You definitely have done your 10,000 hours very close to it in that regard.
So my memories of the show was, getting dropped off by someone's mom. And then I was walking into the concert, like through the gates, and I was wearing a brown Angels and Airwaves shirt. And I remember at that point, I don't know if Adam was like, oh yeah, by the way, you're not supposed to wear the shirt of the band you're about to see.
Which is another crucial rule. I feel like this was like a really good show and we all learned so many first-time lessons, like about standing, about push pits, about the t-shirts. He probably had his Mike Sir singing Not for Swinging brand new shirt on, didn't he?
Probably, yeah. And yeah, he was like, in fact, it's actually the law to wear the shirt of a band similar to the one you're about to see. But it
would have been the perfect shirt for the occasion. Which Adam, the man, knew how to accessorize. And I'm not even saying that I was making fun of. It's just like, would have been the perfect shirt for the occasion because of the still standing beef between those two musical groups.
Right.
I do remember Taking Back Sunday was selling the shirts that tour of the fucking microphone cord wrapped around and there was blood. Like the shirt made it look like you had just strangled yourself with a microphone cord or decapitated yourself, I guess, because there was just a bloody wrap going on, which he would do as the brand new t-shirt implies, he was doing this more swinging than singing, as it were. But he would do this thing where he wrapped it around his own neck and flung it. I thought it was nice showmanship, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
But
it was super cool. And, I always tell the story of Nick Taylor performing You're So Last Summer at our high school talent show and swinging the microphone and seeing the Shure 58 just fly off of the mic cable. He had to run into the wings to get it. It was so fun. And our band director's just like fucking staring at him.
Oh God. I like the commitment to the act, though, to be quite honest.
Right. So anyway, the underwear, yes. I for some reason, I owned whitey tighties. I hadn't worn those since like first grade when I got my first pair of Rugrat boxers. Very exciting. They had on their adventure gear from the first movie when they go rescue Dill from the monkeys. And
that's not the one that takes place in Paris?
No. They also
there's a jungle one,
a Las Vegas one too.
Wow.
Anyway, so I don't know why I had these whitey tighties, but I was never going to wear them.
Everybody had underwear, man.
So I don't anymore. But anyway, so I wrote.
I forgot. Wow. Yeah. Never mind. That's a whole nother. Jesus Christ. Good Lord.
I wrote "I heart Tom" on the butt of these whitey tighties, and I put my head.
So these had been used. This wasn't like fresh out of the package.
No, these were brand new. They were never worn.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I put my head through the leg hole, and I was just wearing the underwear around my neck like the whole concert. Yeah. And again, I'm 15 years old. I'm in the middle of this pit, and I remember like one of the only other shows I'd ever been to was Newfound Glory when I was, like big concerts out of town, you know? And I remember how I was always just getting pushed upon, you could say. And I just remember having like so much space in the pit and like looking around, and there was like a 4-foot radius all around me. And some dude was like, yeah, no one wants to come near that underwear. It's like, they're clearly new, man. Like,
you figured it out, man. You figured out that's like a necklace of garlic in a field of vampires or something.
So I was just in the pit alone. I do remember though, during Angels and Airwaves, I was so heavily in love with them at that time. And their first album just came out. And I remember the whole show, I just like had my head back, like staring straight up with my arms in the air. And I just like felt like I was like in a different world. And at one point I realized my head was just like on some dude's shoulder. And I don't think he even cared because he was probably in the same space as I was. And it was just like, it honestly felt like an out of body thing, like seeing them perform live. It was incredible. But the show is about Head Automatica. I'm so sorry. They were a great opener for Angels and Airwaves.
Yeah, the subways I don't remember too much, but I do remember the voice. And I think we might be able to just jump into the lyrics. Basically, the story of that concert is we didn't go together, but we saw each other, and then we had very different evenings after seeing each other. I remember Tom DeLonge being like, getting real political. They came on again after but I remember thinking like, to me, it felt like cheating at public speaking a little bit because he was just like, Bush, man.
This bullshit war. My brother's serving in Iraq.
The war, man.
Yeah.
The war. And everyone's like, yeah, war's bad. I was like, yeah, war is bad. Like, this is not exactly profound, I guess. I don't know. Like, just kind of saying generic true things didn't feel super inspiring to me. I was like, everyone was eating it up, which again, I agreed. War is awful. You know, what's that Benjamin Franklin quote, I think, where never a bad peace or a good war. But to me, it felt a little like low-hanging fruit from a public speaking perspective. That miffed me a touch.
There was a really funny Hard Times article, and we had Bill Conway, the founder of Hard Times, on the show. We'll link to that in the show notes as well. But the article was like, hardcore frontman running out of generally accepted things to preach about from the stage.
Yeah. Yeah.
And sure, you know, I was 15, so I ate it up too. I was like, yeah, Bush, the war's bad, man. Get your brother back. But
it's like, that man ain't lying. That man ain't lying. Mama, there goes that man. No, they were coming off that crazy first album with the cool chain noises, and it was such a departure from that. It was very great. But yeah, Head Automatica came out, and I remember the voice specifically, and I think it's time to do a little lyric.
Yeah, let's do the lyrics. We'll get to the video. We'll get to the video last.
So it starts like this, if you'll allow me.
Oh, I'll allow it.
Sure. I believe it goes something along the lines of, smiles running through the broken bottle, I will find.
Keep going.
Which loosely translates to what Google perceives to be, so much fun is in a broken bottle on the drive at night. And then it continues, quote, So daddy which again loosely translates to, so daddy froze on an old stool. I'm crying in the corner at 5. So the vibe here is alcoholism based, which the verses really throw me off because I hadn't read the lyrics until today. There's a dad that's not taking care of his kids. He's in the corner. It's 5 o'clock. The dad should be home, but he's on a bar stool somewhere, right? It's a very interesting start to a song that you would assume would be about school-related teenage.
Right, because the only thing I remember or possibly understood were the words graduation days.
What did I name the Google Doc?
Oh, God. Smosh Funnies in a broken bottle?
Yeah, that was my best guess. Smosh Funnies. Not close. I think Google's got to be pretty close here.
Sure.
But he's seen black. He's seen blue. Maybe there's some parental abuse at this point, physical nature from the father. Fine lines he doesn't see. It's pretty cut and dry. And just because I am in misery, it doesn't mean a thing that I want to know. Graduation day, we take back everything we said. See, the chorus, graduation day, we take back everything we said about you. What the is he talking about? No, literally from just a words you're hearing standpoint to the words that are actually written standpoint. Again, this is coming from a place of love, the impression, all of it. I've listened to this song. The only reason we're doing this show because we're so curious because we've listened to this song so many hundreds of times.
Right.
And the voice is so unique. And we saw it live, and it was such a privilege to see that tour. With that said, what?
All right, let's move on. Maybe we'll uncover some more clues.
Yes, okay. September thought that she remembers they don't teach humility.
Humility!
Humility.
And just because they're always signaling Mayday, it don't mean a thing. Okay? That she's fared love and she's seen war, but fairness she don't see. And just because she's in misery, it don't mean a thing. So is he meeting a girl that's also gone through the same situation?
That's a good call. That's a good call, I guess, right? I mean, like, thought the shares, they don't teach humility just because they're always signaling. They're always signaling Mayday, so there's a lot of signs of the abuse, but nobody really cares. Graduation day, we take back everything we said too. But camaraderie, doing what I do. Everybody knows this is getting out of hand. Everybody's dying for a chance to be heard, not ignored. Okay, so there's a youthful crying out that's not being answered. Everybody knows this is getting out of hand. Graduation day, I ain't going to school. So maybe it's a song about skipping school because you don't have anything to live. Wow, this is a dark song. I'm almost happier I didn't listen to it on a graduation day because that would have been like vastly misinterpreting the lyrics, which again I didn't hear correctly the first several hundred times anyway. But yeah, thoughts, my man.
Well, Genius Lyrics is giving me no clues here, but
yeah, their first take on the first lyric was pretty funny. Smosh Funnies, was it? No, that's the one I thought it was. Something about a bottle.
I don't know. It sounds like kids, being neglected by parents. They're excited to graduate because that signals like we can move out of the house, we can move on, we can be on our own.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm not going to school. I mean, whatever. That might just be a line he threw in to relate.
It is
to
an anthem about breaking away from something, right?
Right.
I think you can at least agree on that, right?
Yeah, maybe the graduation is actually from the abusive household he's in.
Oh, wait. Well, hey, we're 18 now. Whoa. And Smosh Funnies on a broken bottle.
Yeah.
That is Ghost going and also Scranton's Corner 5. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, oh yeah. Hey, who doesn't? You can feel it even if you don't know it. But it's a little more, the approach is quite literal in the music video. That's fair to say. It's a whole ceremony music video.
Yes.
And I will say, it was a thrill to watch the music video because that tall, skinny guitarist was at the show in Cleveland, and he just bounced up and down straight. It was like a character out of the Guitar Hero video games, just like drug skinny tall person wearing kind of like an Austin Powers British like spy suit thing. And every like 4 strums, he'd flick a broken pick off. He must have gone through like 72 of those things that show. He was just strumming the hell away.
I hope he was sponsored. Damn.
Yeah, putting the power in Power Pop, am I right?
I do remember all the pics, man. I also remember I think it was the bassist of the Subways seemed like he was like 9 feet tall and his knees were super bendy as well.
Yeah.
Or maybe their
tour.
drummer was super big. I remember he kept like knocking over his drum set and he only had like a kick, a snare, a crash, and a hi-hat. And I was just like,
Yeah, the
really
Subways were
blown
raw
away
for
by it.
sure. They were quite raw.
Right.
In a good way.
Yeah. Yeah, they're fun.
But yeah, so we open up. There's a stage outside of a school, class of 06, which is the year we saw them on tour. And they are announced as the band that's going to play while the diplomas are being handed out.
Yeah, I guess so.
And I got to say, the stage presence of the lead singer is not a guy who is coming straight out of a garage. You can kind of tell he's an industry professional right from the get-go. He puts on an exquisite performance in this music video, if I do say so.
Yeah, a lot of times you get the singer like looking in the camera, but it usually looks like so awkwardly sexual or like so desperate or like longing or something. And he just like plays it off like, he's making that camera lens his bitch. He's
yeah, right.
It's good. It's very natural. Yeah, like you said. I'm not adding anything to this conversation.
And that's when they that's when I need to go back. They introduce us then to a cast of characters in the music video. There's a jock. There's, I think, what's supposed to be a preppy girl, but she does have like fishnet fingerless gloves on, which is missing the mark on a couple different types of clicks, standard clicks. There's a goth girl who has an anarchy thing written on her graduation cap. There's a kid with glasses that gets on by a bird pretty immediately. There is the bad boy who has made the decision to rip the sleeves off of his gown just to prove how bad of a boy he is.
Those are rentals, dude. My God.
Yeah, I know. Really, someone's gonna. Those $30 don't grow on trees, I guess. Anyway, so he's definitely the bad boy, as we mentioned.
Sure.
And I think that's mostly the cast. Oh, there's a larger girl who's eating a cheeseburger.
Yes.
And then the band comes out and he says, and daddy's school. And then just right around that time, they start passing notes in the crowd, right before they get up to get their diplomas. And somebody passes the fat cheeseburger girl a picture of a hippopotamus with her face taped over the hippopotamus's face, which is just the meanest thing. And then the jock gets a couple letters. They're like, hey, do you want to basically? And so then the crowd starts to walk up on stage, and the fishnet glove girl sees other girls winking at the jock, and she decides to kiss him on the stage. And it's this whole like music video epic thing. But then then they start envisioning their futures, and the jock envisions his very lovely gay wedding in the future, which is pretty progressive, I guess, for a music video in 06.
Yeah.
Looking back, good on him. But that's quite the arc before they even hit like the second verse for the jock guy to go through. I mean, they are really hitting on all cylinders on this one. And then where do we go from there? The more people start to envision their future, right?
Yeah, and I'm not sure if it's just supposed to be like, if this did happen, like this is 10 years in the future, or like these are possibilities or something.
But Cheeseburger Lady is seen on a beach doing yoga.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So she's bettering herself.
Turns her life around, gets all skinny and hot.
Yeah. Not that you have to do that. To me, the messages are kind of jarbled, especially because the next futuristic vision is fishnet glove girl who kissed the jock, just having a lot of kids and being pregnant, which isn't the opposite. Like everything else was kind of the opposite of what you would think. This is like, oh, the horny one had sex and kids came from the sex, that checks. No,
and she was like in front of like an abandoned bus, right? So
yeah, like it wasn't even, the trailer scene. I think there's supposed to be like a trailer park set of amount of families and kids or something, but they swung and missed on a few of these.
Well, the punk dude, he got, I guess there was like an epic police chase at the graduation.
Oh yes. Law enforcement shows up. Head Automatica continues to play.
And again, where are they drawing all this power from?
Oh, jeez. Oh, you mean for the sound?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't hear a damn thing. Even if
Not to mention the 4 helicopters over.
Right. I mean, this police chase, this is a SWAT situation. Like, there's a danger to the public, possibly armed and dangerous suspect on the premises.
So they arrest the guy who ripped the sleeves off of his loner gown. And
right. They're like, who is it? Oh, let me look. Oh, there he is. He doesn't have sleeves on his gown. That's exactly who it is. Go chase that person through this ceremony.
And he turns into a priest with a goatee.
Yes, so he's getting tackled to the ground as and he's getting tackled and envisions thoughts of growing just the nastiest goatee and being a priest. And
hey, man, priests aren't doing so hot these days either. So,
yeah. Well, these days, ever, right?
Ever, yeah, sure.
Yeah,
we'll say
not great. Not great, Bob. And then what else? Anarchy Girl runs for office in her vision.
Yeah.
And we're coming to a part of the song where, or I think the police chase happens, everybody's being right. And then you do that thing with the lead singers leading the children, or the kids, the teens, I guess, through the hallways, and he's strutting. Again, go watch it. He just puts on a fucking clinic. Just clean, to the point, never a wasted movement, very calculated, very deadly, very, very awesome. And he breaks out of school, and he's doing these moves, and they're taking back everything they've ever said about everybody, and they're not going to school, and everyone's running out of the school, and he's standing there looking down in the camera like kind of a bad. And it wraps up. We got to see that, I guess the message is don't judge a book by its cover, even though the song's about parental abuse, even though the chorus is about graduating.
So I think that if you want to try to find a similar thing between the video and the song is kind of saying, like, we're going through this now, but we can evolve, we can move on, we can change.
Ooh, I like that.
And in the video, it's like, okay, we're the stereotypes now, but we can move on from that. Like, we're graduating, we can be ourselves, come into our true selves.
Good call. I really like that. My mindset was stuck in the Party in the USA episode we did with Matt Farley of Modern Media, which is a music video about a definitely a Nashville party. The song's about them being at a definitely not a Nashville party. So it ended up being a pretty good episode. But this is, okay, a little more on the nose. There is a message there. I do like that.
God, when I was editing the Party in the USA episode, I was still so sick, but I was like wanting to like interject so badly. I was like, do I like record parts into this? Because I really have stuff to say. Like, it was such a fun episode to listen to.
Well, I'm glad Matt was able to step in. It was really nice. And it was the first one I did without you, which was definitely nerve-wracking.
It's weird.
What's your main leftover take from that one?
I do like the fact that I guess the conclusion was like, no, this is a Nashville party. Like,
yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Exhibit A, this, my friends, in court, just like slamming a book down on the bench, was a Nashville party after all. But yeah, no, this music video is pretty true to the chorus. They've graduated. Diplomas handed out, only one arrest, which, yeah, it's not so bad.
Not so bad.
They brought in some serious heat to track that kid down. He made zero efforts to conceal his identity whatsoever. No sleeves, no cares in the world, no cares given. But yeah, so that I think brings us pretty close, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's about all I have to say about it.
I think that leaves me wanting to hear what would have been on that theoretical third album.
Yeah, I really want to go back and just listen because, again, this was the time of LimeWire. I was only downloading the singles because that's all you could find.
Yeah.
I want to go listen to the albums because it's been probably 13 years.
You're lying through your teeth. Yeah, I was listening to them all day. I was listening to them all day. Sorry, I'm talking with marbles in my mouth tonight. Keeping it, the memes are wholesome tonight. I had a fruit smoothie and some water. Usually we grease the wheels with some happy juice, but no, the memes are wholesome this evening, and therefore marbles have started to form in my mouth as I fall asleep at the wheel. We're going to really dive into the Baja Men next week, correct?
Yes. This is like a research project, though. Like, it's going to be a presentation. We will have slides that will be available on our website.
Whoa. Busy boy.
But yeah, that's going to be exciting. Head Automatica, great band. Wish they could have stuck around longer. But
if they're listening to this somehow, which I assume everyone we talk about ends up hearing it, Jardway was either doing a lot of marketing for the Vampire Academy or Umbrella Academy show on Netflix, or he was listening to this show. At the time it was recorded. It's hard to say. It's anybody's guess, really. But if they do reach it, this comes from a place of love. Thank you for the music. Please give us the third album so we can listen to it hundreds and hundreds of times, like the other songs you've given us so graciously. And maybe even another Glassjaw record. Who cares? I'll have to go check them out because I missed them the first time around. I did not know Portia. I don't think I've ever known a Portia. So woe is me, I suppose.
Sure. Woe is me is also a pretty heavy band.
Whoa, there you go. Just start naming shit. I think that I do want to do Evanescence someday.
Yes.
Because that is the ultimate cry in the middle of a skating party song.
Yeah.
And I just want to dig into that and learn more about the band because I know fucking 0% of anything about that whole situation from a cultural standpoint. So I do remember skating to that song at a skating party and seeing a group of people with all black t-shirts. I think it was my first experience with goths. And one of the shirts just said boy bands suck. And I was like, wow, he's making a statement. Like, I remember thinking that out loud. Like, he's taking a stand on that one. I don't even know why he's here because much of the music is from boy bands. So anywho.
Before we wrap this up and give our song of the week, I tortured myself after we recorded last week because we never mentioned the Absolute Vodka ad in the Blink-182 Steve Aoki music video.
Whoa.
I had that in like all bold in our show notes. The last 30 seconds of that video just being an Absolute Vodka ad. I just wanted to say I'm a part of it.
So you like it now?
No, it's like it was 1,000 times worse.
Yes, yeah. It was a
so
commercial.
Bad.
Yeah,
so
it was a
bad.
disaster piece, as we've mentioned. So
we're aware. Apologies as always.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for pointing it out, everybody.
Song of the week.
John.
Go download Overdrive, the app that lets you put your library card information in and just get any audiobook ever, or ebook for that matter, for f***ing free. Libraries are the greatest. I've listened to, my song recommendation, the new Jenny Lewis album's out, so go listen to it. Whatever. Jenny Lewis, I'll listen to music when I have to, but this is technically new stuff, so get off my back. But yeah, I've listened to, like in the last 2 weeks, Trevor Noah's book, David Spade's book, Norm Macdonald's book, and Steve Martin's book. And I think in a weird way, Norm Macdonald's is my favorite.
Oh, wow.
Even though you had to work harder for the enjoyment almost. David Spade's was fun. Steve Martin's felt like not work, but just kind of a necessary one. Anyway, books. Yay. Yeah, go Overdrive. It's a free app. Just go listen to books always.
All right.
Knowledge is power. Yeah.
Okay.
Although it's a little weird. I try to listen to books that are like stories. Somebody was like, you have to listen to Ham on Rye by James Bukowski. And I'm like, do I? This is a book. So maybe that's one. There's some that are for the reading, but if it's a comedian just talking about their life, it's almost like a long podcast. So
gotcha.
Works.
Yeah.
I've been enjoying that. But yeah, Jenny Lewis. Wee.
So I've been listening to, it was actually a recommendation from quite a while ago. You've Got a Friend in Me, which is the theme song from Toy Story. But I found an excellent ska cover of it by a band called Suburban Heroes. They cover a lot of Disney songs, and they are, I don't know, I go crazy every time I hear a good ska song, but it's one of those weird things where I never like seek it out, but when it presents itself, I'm like, God, I need to listen to more ska, but I just never seek it out.
You should go like Ska Tune Network on Facebook. That dude is incredible.
Dude, he's incredible.
Pick it up, as it were. But yes, actually, go listen to Julian Bacon, our Personal Heroes episode. We talk a lot about Toy Story and stuff like that as well on that one.
Oh, do we?
Yeah, I think what it was a new record for how many of our own episodes we plugged in one episode. I think we're up to like 6.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's shut her down. We're rambling. It's over.
Okay.
It's over.
All right, man. Well, it's good chatting with you again. I only took that 1 week off, but I don't know, it felt like an eternity. So
that's last Friday's book.
All right, love you, man.
That was that, man.
Hey everyone, thank you so much as always for listening. It was really fun to get kind of nostalgic for a minute back with one of the first concerts we ever went to as kids. Barely knew what we were doing in this world. Again, you all know Ron Carnage, the Thinker Boy, is out. It is for sale. We're having so much fun with it. You can buy that at whoisroncarnage.com/buy. And in the meantime, you can talk to us on Twitter @_reminiscentfm. All right, we love you all. Bye.